Okay, so our application is basically a streaming catalog application. I'll quickly go through the business requirements. A user will have the option to sign in. There are two types of users, admin and streamers. There are three subscription plans, uh, silver, gold, and platinum, and each one of them has a price and a duration. There are two types of catalogs, movie and series. Then admin will have only the administrator will have access to generate reports and tables. Streamers can create their profile for streaming movies or web series. They can choose a subscription model, and based on the and a streamer can only have one subscription at a time. And once a user signs up, he'll be able to log in using his username and password. And once a user is logged in, the user ID and his interaction with the movies and the series will be captured in the database in a separate table. A user will have the option to like or dislike any movie or web series he has seen. And all these interactions will help the admin to generate the report for the most liked for the movies and series. And total views, likes, and dislikes can be derived for every movie or web series. So basically, this is our application flow. A user logs in. A user first has to sign up, and once his details are captured in the database, he has the option to log in. If the login is not successful, he will be prompted to recheck his credentials. And once he logs in, he has the option to make a subscription plan first. He can choose from the basic. So it's basic. We have silver, gold, and platinum. It's not basic, silver, and gold. And then, depending on his subscription plan, an email will also be sent to his registered email ID. Then he can go to his dashboard. Dashboard is basically the browse page where it will show all the catalog, the entire catalog of all the available movies and series. And he can view any movie or series. And this will be reflected in his viewing history where he has the option to like or dislike it. This will also be captured in our database. And he can upgrade his original plan. So let's say if he chooses silver, he has the option to upgrade it to gold or platinum. But let's say if he goes with a gold subscription, he can only upgrade to platinum. He cannot downgrade his subscription to a lower model. And that is another restriction that we are applying. And these are the basic functionalities of a streamer. Now comes the admin part. The admin can log in using his credentials, and only he has access to the backend database to generate reports and tables. He also has the ability to add movie or series profiles and add subscription plans or catalog types. And now I will go to the application. This application is made from Streamlit on using PyCharm projects. So these are the pages that we have. Sign up, login, update, subscription, browse, viewing history. And most of these pages will be restricted to the users depending on the type of user he is. So first, I will start by creating a streamer profile. So now this user has been newly added to our database, and this will be reflected in our user table. You can see this particular user which we have added just now, and all his details are captured. So he's the streamer. He's a streamer, so basically that's why his user category ID is 1. Now I will log in as this new user. So let's say if his user credentials are wrong or not of that we have in our database, then the login will not be successful. So he has to enter the right password to log in. And once he's logged in, he'll be able to update his password where he just has to type his old password. So let's say if he enters his old password wrong, so it does not match with the one that we have in our database. So in order to proceed, he has to type in his original password. And once he clicks on update, again he will be prompted with a warning, with an error message saying that the new passwords do not match. And if everything's in the right place, the operation is going to be successful, which means his password has been successfully updated. Now he can subscribe to a plan. So we have 3 plans: silver, gold, and platinum. Once he subscribes, an email will be sent to his email ID. But since this is a dummy account and the email doesn't really exist, uh, this this won't be happening. Uh, I will show this as uh, another user. So right now we have logged in as a user. So once a session is active, the person won't be able to access the sign up page because a session is already active. And similarly, he won't be able to log in as well because here also a session is active. So he will have to log out first. So I've logged out right now. Now I will log in as a user I had already created. Okay. So I've already subscribed to the silver model. So let's see what happens when I click on subscribe. So it's showing me that a silver plan already exists for this user, and it's asking me to either upgrade to gold or platinum. Let's say I'm going to upgrade to gold, and I'm clicking on upgrade. So and the email that I registered with this user is my Conestoga email, and I'm going to get an email here saying yes, you can see that I just received an email right now saying that I have upgraded to the gold platinum. All my pricing details and the duration is also captured in this email. Now, let's say I log out first and sign in again as Ahmed 2. All right. So, as a user, as a streamer, he will have access to all these pages: update password, subscription, browse, and viewing history. So, in browse, he has the option to go through all the movies and catalogs that we already have in our database. And in his viewing history, he will have the option to uh, view what all he has seen. So since this user is newly created and since he has not seen any movie or series, he doesn't have any options available. So he has to first watch a movie. Let's say if he wants to watch The Godfather Part 1, view, and this will appear in his viewing history. So, and this is his checkpoint, which is actually a randomly generated number. And once he clicks on continue watching, the movie progresses. Finally, once he finished once he finished watching that movie, it will reset to the beginning. He also has the option to like or dislike this movie. So let's say if he likes Godfather Part 1 and if he submits response, so this will be captured here. So let's say this is the user that we just created, and you can see that the movie has been is starting from the beginning. That's why the checkpoint is 0, and he has liked that movie. So that is also captured here. Now, similarly for a series as well. Let's say if he wants to let's Stranger Things. He watches season 1, episode 1. He will this will be captured here as well. So Stranger Things. So he has the option to like or dislike season 1 and episode 1, but he won't be able to like or dislike or interact with any other seasons or episodes which he has not seen. So he has to watch that particular season or episode before attempting to like or dislike it. So these are the basic functionalities of a streamer. Now I will show you what all an administrator can do. So I am signing out and I'm logging in as an admin. Okay, so now I'm logged in as an admin. So the admin has an option to add a movie or a series. So let's say if he wants to add a movie. Mm, So this movie has been currently added to our database, and this will be captured in our streaming catalog. So this is the movie that I just entered, and it's available right now. And the administrator also has the option to update an existing movie profile. So let's say if he wants to update any of the movies, he can do that. But right now, I will show you the movie that I just added right now. So let's say uh, right now you can see that the duration is 127. I'm going to update it to 151. So now it's been updated on refresh. The duration has been updated here. Similarly, he can change anything. He has the freedom to change the director, the year of release, the producer, and he can also add if he wants multiple casts, like more actors if he wants to. That is also supported. Then here he has the option to add a catalog type. So right now we have two types of catalogs, movies and series. But if he wants to add a different catalog, such as a documentary or something, he can do that in the future as well. And these are the subscription model. Again, subscription model, we have three right now, silver, gold, and platinum. He can add future ones if he wants to, let's say. Duration is basically how long the subscription will be valid for a streamer. So let's say this is active for 36 months. Okay, so the subscription model has been successfully added, and this will be reflected in our subscription table. So basically that's it. And now coming to the reports. So the only the admin can generate and view reports on his page. So first I will go with the first report, which is where he can have a glance at the top 10 most liked movies. So we have created a horizontal bar chart to show that the movie name and the number of likes. Now going over to the second report. The second report is exclusive to series. So let's say if he chooses to watch Stranger Things, based on the season and based on the episode, he will have a tabular view of the number of likes. And here we have a line chart which shows the interaction. So let's say for the season one was not very popular. Then it gradually increased it in popularity. Season two was also it, started well. Then it had a slight dip, then the quality or the popularity varies. But season 3 is much more stable. It increased in popularity and it never waned. So this is the kind of insight that we are hoping that the administrator would gain from the second report. Now moving on to report 3. Report 3, we have the distribution of plan or pricing preferences based on gender type. So we have two genders, males and females. And based on this box plot, you can see that males are preferring to go with lower price subscription models like silver or gold, while as females are more prone to choose more premium plans like platinum and gold. So that's why the ranges are different. And basically, this is it. So now I'm going to sign out as the admin, and I'm going to sign in back again as Ahmed. Sorry. So okay, so I added a new movie right now. It's basically, yeah, nobody knows. So if he clicks on view, it's gonna appear in his viewing history as well. And he has the option to like or dislike it. So basically, that's our application. And so let's say I'm signing out, and we have also created a separate page on GitHub where we'll be pushing or committing the changes. And these new changes will be updated shortly after recording this video. And okay, so now I will just go through the code. So basically, you need two files. One is the database itself, and the other is the cipher-code.csv, which is similar to the assignment 2. It is basically for encrypting the password before storing it in the database. And both these files should be in the data directory for this application to work. And we have a few more files, which are the credentials.json file, the token.pickle file. These two files are needed for the email API because the credentials of the Gmail account are stored in this JSON file. And the token.pickle file is basically for the developer account. And we also have three separate files for each of the three reports, report 1, report 2, and report 3, and we'll be importing them into our demo.py file. So this is basically the functionality of this is basically the Gmail authentication function. So it will just go through the token and it will just check for the credentials. And basically, if the credentials are matching, then it will build the message. So the message to would be the destination email address. From will be the our email address, and the subject would be the subject line of the email. And then basically the message is built, and this is the function which actually sends the email to the registered email ID. And this function is basically just there to encrypt the password, and these are just helper functions. Now I will go through the sign up function. Uh, so since this is a big application, we have divided the functionalities into different modules. So first is the sign up module, and first it will check the username and check whether it's empty or not. If it's empty, it means that no session is currently active, and the uh, user is allowed to sign up. So basically, these are text holders. And finally, once he clicks on the sign up button, it will check whether the first is the date of birth validation. So the date of birth cannot be more than the current date. If it's more than the current date, it will display this message, invalid date of birth. And if any of the fields are empty, or if like, let's say the username, the password, the date of birth, these fields are mandatory fields. So if any of these fields are empty and if the user is attempting to sign up, then the operation won't be successful, and he'll be prompted with this message. Please make sure that you have entered all the mandatory fields and try it. And next, I'm going to the subscription page. So subscription page is where the uh, user can register for a plan. So if it's his first plan, so this is basically checking whether the user already has an existing plan. If the user already has an existing plan, he'll be given an option to upgrade to gold or platinum. And once he clicks on upgrade, the start date and the end date will also be reset. The start date will be the current date, that is the system date, and the end date will be calculated based on the subscription plan he's choosing. So, uh, like, yeah, it will be in a number of days. So, for silver plan, I guess it's 6 months. For uh, gold plan, it's 12 months, and for the platinum plan, it's 24 months. So, whatever that duration is, it will be selected, and the end date will be calculated accordingly. And the new price will also be fetched depending on the price of the new plan. And if all goes well, the the plan will be updated, and it will be sent to the registered email ID. The only situation is when the user is already a platinum streamer. So if the user is already a platinum streamer, we do not currently have any new um, plans he'll be able to upgrade to. So this else part is basically for a streamer who doesn't, for a newly created user who doesn't have any existing subscription plan. So here the subscription plan will be inserted directly, and once he subscribes to his first plan, an email will be registered. So basically that's it. And now I will go to Add Movie. Add Movie is basically a functionality of an administrator user. So this is where the admin can insert a new movie or series. So this is a radio button, movie or series, and these are the available genres, the language, the name of the movie series, cast. Cast is basically the list of actors which are basically comma separated. Then the producer, the director, the release year, and the duration. And if the catalog type is a series, he will be prompted to insert values for two other fields, which is the season and the episode. And once he clicks on the Add Catalog button, if uh, if the catalog type is a movie, the only the other than season and episode, all other fields will be inserted. The season and episode will still have the default value, which is null. But if it's a series, the season and episode are inserted as well. So that's the only difference. And basically, once the administrator adds a movie, and once he mentions the list of actors as comma separated, we have a separate table here called actor. So here the actors will be like delimited using the comma spaces and inserted accordingly. So if, let's say, if there are two movies which stars Tom Cruise, but the Tom Cruise entry will only be once. It checks whether this actor name already exists in the actor table, and if it exists, it won't make an insertion. But the only insertion that is happening here is the actor catalog table. So the actor catalog table is where the association of an actor with a movie or a series is captured. So let's say uh, 73 is the actor like actor ID, like a catalog ID of let's say Top Gun. So which means 7351 basically then means that Tom Cruise is associated with Top Gun. So all these information is captured here. So basically that's what happens here. That's what this line of code basically does. Now coming to the update password. Update password is where the a streamer user can update his password. So basically it's just like what I mentioned in the UI. he has to enter all the three fields correctly, the old password and the new passwords. The new passwords should match, and the old password should be the password that we already have in our database for the updation to be successful. Now, new subscription model, again, this is a functionality of the administrator where he can add a new subscription model. Uh, so currently we only have silver, gold, and platinum, but he can do that. Then login page. So login is common to both streamers and administrators. So again, just like sign up, it will first check whether a session is active or not using a session variable called username. So and if a session is not active, he will be given access to the login page. And once a user logs in with a password, it will encrypt the password and will check with the password which is already there in the database. If everything matches, he will be logged in. Otherwise, this message will be displayed. Login attempt unsuccessful. Please check your credentials. Otherwise, and then sign out. So this is what happens. So once a user logs in, this session variable called username will no longer be an empty string. So that's how we check whether a session is active or not. And sign out. Sign out, basically once the user signs out, everything will be reset. Like all the session variables, username, user type, login status also would be false. And then if no session is active, it will just display this message. You have not logged in. Please try logging in. And browse. Browse again is a functionality of a streamer. So you'll be able to browse all the movies or series which are currently present in our database. And depending on whether it's a movie or a series, he will have to choose. He will have the option or may not have the option to choose a season or episode. And basically that's like once he watches a movie, this information will be captured in our database. So user streaming data. So user streaming data is when the user ID would be present, the catalog ID of the movie or the series, along with the episode or the season will be captured here, and the last view date, which is by default the current system date, and the checkpoint. So all these information will be captured, and the like column uh, would have the default value of null only because this user has not interacted with this movie. So once as I have shown you in the UI, once the user goes to his viewing history, he can see his checkpoint and he can click and he can decide whether to like or dislike the movie, and then that field will be updated accordingly. Yeah, this is the view button. The view button. So another updation which is going to happen is the streaming catalog. So streaming catalog, you can see that there are two other fields that I haven't spoken about till now. One is the total views and one is the total likes. The total views will be updated each time the user clicks that view button, and the total likes will be updated each time a user likes a button. So let's say if for a particular movie, one user likes and another user dislikes, so it will be a +1 and -1, and the value will be changed accordingly. So if it's -1, it just shows that there is a dislike more, one dislike more than the net. Uh, that is the net value of the like and dislike function. Then add catalog type. This is where the user can add a catalog. Uh, so currently we have movie or series. We can add maybe another third one. Update movie. So update movie is where the administrator can update the details of a movie. So first, what happens is once the uh, administrator chooses a movie or a series he wants to update, the values will be read from the database and it will be placed in as a placeholder. He can edit the details And once he clicks the update button, all those changes will be recorded. And let's say if he adds another actor into that series or movie, that the corresponding changes will be made in the uh, actor table and the actor catalog table. So basically, that's what's happening here. It's very similar to the code that for the adding the movie or series code, and then viewing history. Viewing history is again something which is exclusive to streamers. So this is where the streamer can have access to where he last viewed. I mean his checkpoint, and where he also has the option to like or dislike the movie or series. So once he clicks on select the movie you would like to continue watching, it will just create. Yeah. Once he does that, yeah, this is where the details which are already present in our database are collected and shown to the administrator. I mean, shown to the streamer. Once he clicks on this continue watching, the progress bar will change, and he also has the option to like or dislike. So this is where the like yeah this is the function that I want to show you. So basically, it's generating a random number between the previous checkpoint and the duration of the movie. So once he clicks on continue watching, the movie's progress will keep on uh, progressing towards the end, and once it reaches the duration, it will be reset to 0. So, and once he likes or dislikes the movie, this information will also be captured. So that's basically what's happening here. And yeah, basically that's it. So update movie, yeah. And this is where we have restricted the uh, pages to streamers or administrators, depending on the kind of user or key is. So only the sign up page, the login page, and the sign out page. These are the only three pages which are accessible by both types of users. All the other pages will be restricted to the kind of user they are. Then we have the three reports. Report one, report one. So this is a very simple report. So it's basically selecting the name and total likes from streaming catalog, and it's creating a data frame and just plotting a horizontal bar chart, which I showed you. Report two is slightly more complex. I mean, so for every season and for every episode, uh, we are we are calculating. I mean, we are displaying the total number of likes and dislikes, total number of likes, and based on that, line chart will be drawn. And report three is where we are taking the gender, type, and price, and we are grouping the values based on gender and type and a price, and counting the number of uh, users who fall into each one of these two genders. Then it will also be shown as in a tabular form, and a box plot will be plotted to show the distribution of the pricing plans. So this is basically a project, and in order for this project to run, there are a few libraries which I will show you. Uh, so one is the SQLite 3, which is basically used for the database connection, the date time, the report, the random for generating the random value for that checkpoint functionality, as I showed. The streamlit, this is the most important library here. The picker file, the OS file, and these three files, I mean, these three libraries, sorry, for the Google API to function, and including these, sorry. And basically, that's our entire project. Thank you.